So, from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have a very important instruction. This is for all of us who will be attempting to say something. So that instruction is, truth spoken concisely is true eloquence. What does that mean for us? It means, please respect the time limits. Everybody has something they want to say. So you don't have to say everything. Just say a little bit, spoken concisely, so that everyone else will have an opportunity to speak also, including the grand disciples and friends and servants of the Prabhupada. I will give you just a couple of hints. This is Vyasa Puja. It's about its divine grace, glorifying Srila Prabhupada. It's not about I this, I that, I this. Kind of drop that part of it and just glorify Prabhupada shortly and sweetly. And refrain from repeating. And sometimes somebody will say, well, we don't have anything to say, but then they keep. So if you don't have anything to say, that's okay. Just thanks for the Prabhupada and let the next person say something. Lalita?
People need to move forward.
Okay, we have from the floor. Please move a little more forward. We're trying to see if we can break the limit. We've had a lot of people in here before, but we're trying to see if today we can break the, what is it called? The record for as many people that have come in. And everybody, there's big spaces here. Come on, move, ladies. Move it. Yeah, come on.
Can we use the other mics, Matan?
Okay. So it's been recommended. Stand up, take a step, and then sit down. Stand up, take a step to your left, and then sit down. And there'll be more space automatically. And just think, make yourself small. Move down.
You can come here, Mr. 5, more than 5.
We have room for 5 people, ladies, over here. So.
Hare Krishna.
I am trying. Try it again.
So we're going to start the program. If you can switch off or put them at your cell phone vibrate, we appreciate that. And then they're going to offer the garlands. Give a little space for them to walk. As they're coming forward, as Maliki Prabhu said, it's a time.
Sound check. Can everybody hear comfortably? Can you in the back over there? Can you hear?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can hear you.
If you can't hear at any point, raise your hand and point to your ear, and we'll adjust it.
Can the men this side move forward? There are men behind.
This is called sliding yoga.
We have some small gifts to start with. Want to offer as a gratitude. So those who don't know, those are coming for first time. Janmashtami was celebrated yesterday. I saw some people are coming today for Janmashtami, but yesterday was celebrated here, and today we are celebrating Divine Grace founder of Krishna Consciousness birthday. Happy birthday we are celebrating, and then his dear disciples are sitting on the chair. So they're going to speak about him, their personal experiences. That is another. These disciples of Srila Prabhupada spent their life starting at the youth. They gave the best of the youth, Prabhupada's movement. So they have a 40 to 60 years of experience in fact of bhakti. They did so many amazing things. So we can hear some of them from direct relationship with Prabhupada. So as Maharaj Prabhu said, we have a time bomb. I know a lot of people are fasting too, but we want to continue as much as we could, but it has to stop somewhere. So a humble request is that.
Prasadam is at the end of the program.
And we have seen it's a 40-course meal. So His Grace Yadavacharya Prabhu, Her Grace Kamali Mataji, Devi Mataji, whatever sir, Kamali Manasi Prabhu. And then Rasalila Devi Rasi, and then Krishnamani Devi Rasi, Hare Prabhu. Okay, now who wants to go first? Live? Okay. So it's a 1 o'clock, so 5 to 8 minutes, or whatever the time.
5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so it has been said 5 minutes. Okay. Everybody speak for 5 minutes, then after that you open for grand disciples.
Please you make sure you hold the mic up to your mouth.
I will raise the hand 30 minutes, 30 seconds.
Jai Hare Bo. Jai. Namo Om Vishnu Pradaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurani Vishani. I would like to say, first of all, I really appreciate all of you coming today, because I remember several years ago, I was for Prabhupada's that I was looking at maybe 10, 15 people here. That was it. All devotees were here. And that was it. And I thought to myself that there's something wrong with this picture. Now I see that this picture is perfect, because the whole temple is jam-packed with devotees who come specifically to glorify and to remember Srila Prabhupada. And that is actually just the beginning. Someday we'll have thousands of people coming to show up, just the same as we did for Janmashtami. Because the realization is that the spiritual master is the mercy manifestation of Krishna. I heard Prabhupada say that just the other day, that the spiritual master represents Krishna, and he's the mercy that we need to be able to actually understand Krishna. Without having the spiritual master, knowing Krishna is impossible. We can go on speculating for eons and eons, but it doesn't come up that with me. And as much as I'd like to say that when I first started as a devotee, one of the things I read in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, verse 11, wherein Prabhupada used the purport, and he discussed about the fact of the matter that by taking this prasadam, Krishna prasadam, it purifies the brain tissues. And I can understand how in the beginning all of the devotees had bad brain tissues, because we had probably destroyed most of it with intoxication, all other nonsense. But we were able to actually begin to hear and be able to memorize and be able to repeat these transcendental sound vibrations, the verses from the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And that was only by the mercy of the spiritual master, because he introduced us to prasadam, and that prasadam is what helped to purify our consciousness. And that made us feel that now, whoa, what is this? I'm suddenly able to actually remember these verses and say these verses, and not only just say the verses, but understand the verses. And that's the ultimate objective, the objective of our learning and reading. Prabhupada, often devotees would be discussing, or Prabhupada would be talking to them, and they would be asking nonsensical questions, and he'd say, "Are you reading the books?" And he knew they weren't reading the books, because if they were asking those questions, that means they didn't understand, or not the same as those who were just playing the advocate, that they were actually asking those questions intentionally. The devotees would begin to ask the questions that if you would have been reading the books, you would understand. So all of your questions, even questions you don't even know that you have yet, are readily answered in all of the verses in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. I'm trying to say this because from my experience as a young boy reading Bhagavad Gita, I had very little understanding. And as I've grown older, every time I pick up the Bhagavad Gita and read it, I see something new and learn and remember, oh, now I didn't see that, I didn't understand that. By Krishna's giving us these revelations and Prabhupada's mercy, we begin to understand more and more the verses from the Bhagavad Gita. So if nothing else, at least read one page a day. I remember specifically Prabhupada. We were in Vrindavan. Okay. 30 seconds. We were in Vrindavan, and Prabhupada we had just received the new Bhagavad Gita. And Prabhupada was so happy. He was like a kid in the candy store. He was so happy that he finally had the full version of the Bhagavad Gita. And I remember how emphatic he was about us learning to understand it. So, on the mercy of the spiritual master, take it for what it's worth. Take the Bhagavad Gita and read one page a day. If you do that, guaranteed you'll go back to God.
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Srila Prabhupada ki. I'm just so thankful that due to no qualification or anything done, especially in this life, that I was able to receive the mercy of such a spiritual master. And I'm grateful to all my God brothers and God sisters, because without them, I could not have made it. And I can't make it, so I thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So I'm just going to recycle the Vyasa Puja offering that I made in 2017. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my eternally offered obeisances at your lotus feet. Please let me serve you day after day, year after year, birth after birth. I came upon the following sections after watching a video clip of your post-departure samadhi. I watched it for the first time, and most likely it is going to be the last time that I will view it. It was a little too painful for me. But I needed the solace of your living words, and this is what a random search brought. So this is from a lecture of Srila Prabhupada in New Vrindavan in 1969, and he said, my Guru Maharaj, when he was selecting articles to be published in the Harmonist, if he sees simply there is, several times the writer has written Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, like that, he passes immediately. All right, it's all right, it's all right. That's so many times he's uttered Krishna and Chaitanya, so it is all right. So similarly, even if we present our vast Godhead or any other literature in broken language, it does not matter, because the glorification of the Lord is there. This is recommended by Narada. Tavad visargo janatava vislava. Janata aga means sinful activities. If one reads one line of this literature, although it is presented in broken language, if he simply hears there is Krishna, but his sinful activities immediately vanished. And you, dearest Srila Prabhupada, appeared, a sinless soul, one who never forgot Krishna. You once said you were given an opportunity to sample material sense enjoyment, but Krishna was always there with you, and thus it never happened. In a conversation in June 28, 1977, which means just a few moments before his departure, Prabhupada said, "Sometimes I become surprised how I have written this. Although I am the writer, still, sometimes I'm surprised how these things come out. Such vivid description. Where is there such literature throughout the whole world? It is all Krishna's mercy. Every line is perfect. Krishna is perfect, thus every line is perfect, as you, Srila Prabhupada, are also perfect." Guru Das watched Srila Prabhupada laughing while reading his Krishna book. And he asked, "Prabhupada, you're laughing at your own books?" Prabhupada, "I did not write these books. Krishna wrote them. Krishna sat here," and he pointed to his shoulder. "He wrote them." His dearmost friend, Krishna, sat on his shoulder and spoke to him, just as Arjuna's dearmost friend, Krishna, stood before him and spoke Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada said in a conversation with Tamal Krishna Goswami and another god brother, "Do you know why I read my books every day?" The devotees were kind of surprised. Prabhupada continued, "I learn something new every time I read." Do you know why? Because I did not write these books. I did not write these books. Every time I sat down to write, Krishna appeared and dictated to me what to write. So I'm not writing. Krishna is writing. Srila Prabhupada learned something new every day by reading his own books, because spiritual life is not stagnant. It is ever expanding and ever increasing. Thus, when the Supreme Lord speaks, the pure devotee hears with rapt attention and imbibes the nectar with great joy and devotion. When asked how she could know him better, my god sister was asking Prabhupada, "How can I know you better?" Srila Prabhupada replied to Danishta in 3 words: "Read Krishna's book." Yes, we want to know you better, Srila Prabhupada. You've divulged a great secret, indicating as well where we can find you, cavorting with Krishna and his cowherd friends, the Gopas. All glories to you evermore, Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you, Srila Prabhupada. All glories to you forevermore, our most beloved Patitapavana, Srila Prabhupada. It perplexes my mind to consider that the purports you were writing came to you, the perfect transparent medium, directly via the Supreme Lord Krishna. Your purports are beyond any value and wealth of all the so-called precious gems found in this temporary world. They are the purest of all touchstones, offered to us by your fully cognizant, compassionate mercy. I can never fathom this mercy in 1,000,000 trillion lifetimes. Even if I, by chance, make it back home to Godhead, I'll never understand this incredibly sublime pastime of yours. You're not an ordinary spiritual master. You saved us. This statement was confirmed in 1967, July, in our little San Francisco storefront temple. Not an ordinary spiritual master. He saved us. He said the same about his Guru Maharaj. Krishna dictated these purports to you, and he faithfully recorded them and passed them on to us and to the entire world. Many gurus and so-called yogis come and take our money, but they cannot relieve anyone from birth, death, disease, and old age. You alone offered that miracle. Considering these comments by you, how can we accept anything less than your authentic original words? My head remains bowed at your lotus feet. May my heart beat only for you. May our hearts beat only for you. And may all people throughout the entire universe become receivers of your compassion, your most compassionate message, checking the reign of Kali, pacifying our burning minds and hearts. Your divine grace, Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Malachi Guru. That was very inspiring and uplifting and enlightening. Thank you so much. I always desire to have Malachi Guru's association for this reason. Hare Krishna, Vaich Kalpatrunis, Krika Sundari, Evita Patipanam Pahamabhya, Vaishnavidya, Namaha, Srila Prabhupada, Ki Jai. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak, for being here with you all. I'm so enlivened and inspired. This is such a wonderful community. I really, really appreciate your association so much. So I'm just going to read my offering for this year to Srila Prabhupada in the Srila Prabhupada Tribute book, which is kind of like the unofficial of the House Puja book for his disciples. Dear Srila Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet, which are the shelter for all those aspiring to find relief from the pangs of material existence by engaging in the service of the Lord under your expert guidance. Okay. Thank you for accepting me as your disciple and daughter in your ISKCON family, your trust and your unconditional love. This year is the 45th anniversary of your formal acceptance of me through your Harinam initiation. At that time, I was almost totally clueless, but by Krishna's grace, I understood the most important thing, that you, Srila Prabhupada, know everything, and therefore you are worthy of taking shelter of. And thus began a journey of self-discovery like no other. Srila Prabhupada, you have never ceased to amaze me. I am still striving to fathom your greatness and realize your genius. I pray for ever-increasing understanding. You are the embodiment of devotional service to Lord Krishna, selfless and pure. You struggled against all odds in order to establish the seed of the creeper of devotion in the Western world. Daily we are seeing how it has taken hold, has grown, and has continued to spread to every town and village all over the world. In your books, you have written that severe austerities are not possible in these modern times of Kali Yuga. Nonetheless, in order to accomplish your mission, you willingly accepted so much extreme difficulty and tapasya at a very advanced age. You did this all for the pleasure of your beloved spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. The execution of his divine instruction is an extraordinary feat that stands as a testament to the strength of your devotion. You have bestowed upon the world the King of Education and revealed the most secret of all secrets. Any offering that I could possibly make to you on this most auspicious day of your appearance would be like the offering of a little Ganges water to Mother Ganga. You have created whatever qualifications I may have. Your mercy is all that I am made of. I can only offer you my life, which already belongs to you, and a fervent prayer that you please continue to engage me in your service, birth after birth. In sincere gratitude, I remain your aspiring servant. Sasalula Degadasa.
Hare Krishna. I've always said a loss and feel so inadequate to really appreciate Prabhupada. And I always say that, what can I say to you guys?
Mother Krishna, and then please speak in the
Close
mic.
to appreciating. But I have to make some effort because that's the duty of the disciple. And so I have to say all glories to Srila Prabhupada. And all glories to my god brother, Yadavacharya, my god sister Kamagiri, my god sister Malati, my god sister Rasalila, my dear husband, Tarik, and all of you wonderful devotees in this movement. I think about, there's a story in the Christian Bible, and Solomon, King Solomon, is said to be the wisest king. And so one day, two ladies came to him, and they had a baby. And they said that the baby belonged to both of them. And they were fighting over the baby. So obviously, one was the mother and one was not. And King Solomon was said to be the wisest king. So he had to make a decision about who was the mother. And so he said, well, let's just cut the baby in half. And, you know, each of you all can take half. And so the one mother said, okay, yeah, that'll solve it. And the other lady said, oh, no, just let her have it. Just let her have it. And Solomon knew who was the real mother. And I guess you're all wondering what this has to do with Prabhupada. But I was sitting here today thinking about that ISKCON is Prabhupada's baby. And, you know, as his disciples and his family, we often think, you know, because our time is getting close, like, who will care for this baby that Prabhupada sacrificed for and gave his life for and did all this stuff, you know? So our hope is kind of you guys, you know, that you all will take this movement seriously and understand this great soul that came to give life to the whole world. You all have to take Prabhupada's baby and take care of him, her, on our behalf. That's a very serious thing. So someone who cares for the baby, they're not going to want to see it cut in half. They want to see it kept together. And Prabhupada said that we will show our love for him by how well we cooperate. So that is our challenge. How do we cooperate? All these races and ages and colors and this and that to take care of this movement, to make sure that Prabhupada's baby gets the proper love and care and share that we need. So in this moment, I just like to sing a song to my glories, a Christian song, but it's religious. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise, for it was grace that bought my liberty. I did not know just how you came to love me so. You looked beyond my faults and saw my needs. That is your brother.
The grand disciples, and maybe even great grand disciples. But each of you have to keep it short and sweet, truth spoken concisely, so that everyone can offer their words what's in their heart.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
There's no way that I could imagine one day I'd be sitting here with these devotees. There's no way. Oh, yes, that is better. I can even hear myself. There's no, you know, I would sit here listening year after year and be inspired with every time everyone has something to say. And then someone asks me to share something that it should be important. And it should be important that you know that other people in other communities do watch you and do learn from you. And that I can give you a first-hand report. Because I just talked to my imam this morning. As some of you know, I'm in the Islamic community. And I'm a follower of the Imam W. Muhammad. And I came by way of his father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so I called my imam, his name is Imam Shafiq Sabir. We call him Shafiq so much, sometimes I forget it's Sabir, yes. And he told me 4 things that he appreciated about Srila Prabhupada. Number one, his humility, and he gave me a few points why. Number two, his tolerance, gave me a few points why again on that. Number three, his perseverance, and number four, he was a wise man. He exercised wisdom. So in his humility, in his beginnings, he was very humble in how he tried to gather people together and had lack of success in one city and went to the other. No money, but still committed. And his tolerance for the culture that he came in, his tolerance for the people who were attracted. He was very, very patient in dealing with people. And this is an example for us in how that we learn from the example of our leaders. And then in his perseverance, the thing that stood out for me in the perseverance, I don't know if it would be called perseverance, but when asked, how many temples do you have? In his early days, in his humble stage, he said 108. But now, it should be 1,008 by now.
It's 600 plus.
And so he spoke it into reality and passed that reality. But he used the 108. And his wisdom of how to use his humility and tolerance and perseverance in order to start from $0 practically, and an idea and a concern about the future of America even, because America was said to need a better head on it than what it had, and that they had the legs, but Krishna consciousness had the head. So I'm going to slow down, and believe you me, I have much more that I can say about not only this imam, but a few other imams, that they do read the Bhagavad Gita. And we should read and try to get the messages that are inspiring us to be committed on living an improved life. And that no matter what happens, to not be dissuaded on the battlefield of life. That there's people here that need uplifting families. So we work with the Grahasta Vision team. And I want to say, Mother Malati, I am really humble that she approved of me being on this up here to share with you. That she trusts me with you. And I trust you and her with my life. Hiding here. Good servant. So we will open for the senior devotees who are here. Thank you. Avadut Prabhu, the wife, good wife, Agnihotra Mataji, Parvati, beautiful. Chai Panit Prabhu is here, Harinam Prabhu is here. Yeah. So who wants to go first?
Senior.
Haribol, Hare Krishna. My name is Parvati Devi Dasi, and I appreciate this day. I have so much gratitude for Srila Prabhupada, because it is because of him that I'm here. I would say almost 40 years ago, I read his book, Science of Self-Realization. And the first time I came to the Cleveland Temple, he said in his book that the deities were real, that we should not see them as idols. I was at that temple jumping up and down in the back the first day I was there, And the devotee said, who is that? She must be a devotee. But I really only trusted what Srila Prabhupada said in that book. And he grabbed my soul and my heart from just that book. And through all the ups and the downs and the ins and the outs of traveling in this material world, attempting to be a Vaishnava, it has always been my faith in him that no matter what, I know I'm in the right place. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah. Because I can put the mic down so you can really hear me. Now, this is a roundabout way. I never met Srila Prabhupada. I know many of you all haven't, only through the books. But I was fortunate enough to be sent for by Mother Krishna Nandini. She had no idea. I had no idea. But my mother, my nieces and all of us moved into this house. And it smelled like heme. I didn't know what that smell was. And just so happened, we moved out on the 7th of September, 1972. Right. And Mother Krishna Nandini, we moved out of where we were and moved into the house. Mother Krishna Nandini had just left there September the what? Yeah, we had, it was like she stepped out and I stepped right in on the dust of her feet. And they was telling me, my neighbors were telling me that, girl, y'all don't want to move in there. And I'm like, why? What happened? And the Hare Krishna stayed in there, and they used to circulate the house all the time, going around with incense and stuff. I said, who? And they said, the Hare Krishna. I'm like, oh, okay. Didn't bother me none, didn't know who he was, didn't know nothing about him. Okay. So, okay, I'm going to stay here. 25 years later, my husband, he said, I want you to meet Mother Krishna Nandini. I said, the who? I called her Houdini and everything, trying to get this name right, okay? Then, when I did meet her, he had told me to meet her in the park. I said, I'm going to go meet this woman in the park. And I did. And then I came over to her house for some other reason besides the meeting. And when I walked out of her house, I said, wait a minute. She black. A black Hare Krishna. Okay? I said, So I stepped back in their house. I said, Mother Krishna, did you used to live, what was I at there? 1739 Lakefront. And we were talking, now I said 20 years, but since then, I've been around 27 years with the Hare Krishna. So we're talking 50 years ago about that I met her. Because y'all went out of town and everything too. That's when I had met her, and she understood me right off, and that's rare. You know, she did, because I was she wanted to know what did God mean to me, or all the stuff. I said, well, actually, I done been to all different kind of churches. I done did a whole lot of things, and I was not satisfied. But she said, okay, but let me just ask you this. Where did you think God come from? Remember that? I said, a hole in the church. Because every time I went to church, they pointed up there. And I'm little, okay? Well, I ain't little, but I was young then, okay? And they used to, remember how they used to point up there? And I really, really thought that's where God came from, up there in the sky in this hole. But the reason why I felt that way because like the ceiling fan, the hole wasn't nothing there, it was just a hole. And every time they point, I look up there, so I felt God was up there. I never had gotten an understanding of God until I met Mother Krishna. So that was my introduction to Prabhupada. Thank you for saving my life. Have a do. Mama took me, she said for you.
Hare Krishna.
See, that was there.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, we
The
know
mic to the mic.
spiritual master is the only way we can obtain perfection. Because he has opened our darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. So, Prabhupada, when he came to America in 1965, I had no idea of what God was. I've heard the name of God, and we went to church, Sunday school, or whatever. But God was just a name. There was no personality there. We've always said God did this, God like this, God, he's great. So I remember one time I came home from Sunday school, and I told my mother before I left that I was going to church. So when I got back home, told her I went to church, she said, "No, you haven't been to church. You've been to Sunday school." And to me, church was this big building. You know, so when I went to this building and went in, I wasn't concerned, or I didn't know whether I was going to church or Sunday school. So I said, "Well, what is church?" And she said, "That's when the preacher preached." And I noticed at that time, I'd never heard the preacher preach. We always had Sunday school. They had people my age giving Sunday school. Didn't know as much as I knew, but that's what I was listening to. But the point I'm making is I went to Sunday school, church for I got about 13 or 14. I didn't have no understanding, so you start drifting away. You start going to a Sunday school or church just for the old people to say, "I saw him there." But meanwhile, when I make my present, I go to the playground. I'm the only kid in the playground with a suit, running up and down the sliding board and swings and stuff. So the point is I'm making is I'm trying to share that Prabhupada, I'm so thankful that when he come to America with Krishna consciousness, he came with a personality of God. And I can see Krishna. I can see that personality. And it gives me something, give all of us something to shoot from. Because if you ask who is Krishna, who is God, we can say Krishna. Well, who is that? We can say he's the supreme personality of Godhead. He's the absolute truth. He's the cause of all causes. And at the same time, we have all these different pastimes. And then after the lecture, you can ask questions when you don't understand something. And normally, you just get up and do a lot of, I saw a TV commercial once where the judge said, "Mumbo jumbo." So it's basically what it was, a bunch of mumbo jumbo. You didn't understand anything and you couldn't ask questions because when you speak the truth, you just sit down. But I wanted to be so thankful to Srila Prabhupada that he brought us Krishna with a personality and a greater understanding of who God is. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
would just, I am eternally grateful to Srila Prabhupada because he saved my life. And I would just like to say, even though we are not all initiated personally by Srila Prabhupada, we're all followers of Srila Prabhupada. That's why we're all here. And that's all I'm going to say. Srila Prabhupada is Jagat Guru. Srila Prabhupada, he.
No. Goes back over here, right?
Over there.
Oh, yeah, here.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prishna Bhutale, Srimad Bhakti Swami Pranami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Prachara Vishesha The of my respectful obeisances to Divine Grace, to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Just as Lord Krishna, Srila Prabhupada acted in a way to make us become very much internally indebted to him. And he gives his grace in abundance. He gives himself to us in such a way that we but always feel indebted to him. He given us everything. He gave us his books. He gave us association of Vaishnava. He gave us gurus. He gave us temples. He gave us the holy name. Everything. And just like Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna is also unlimited. And we living entities, we are very tiny. So if Krishna or his representative try to give us himself or his association, is so unlimited, is so great that if we try to reciprocate to such interaction or relationship, we will completely feel unable to actually reciprocate properly. And that is his mercy, because it makes us become eternally indebted. Because when we feel the urge to reciprocate properly, we find ourselves wanting. And that want to make us to become eternally obliged to follow the path and also to engage in their service. And I pray that Srila Prabhupada should always enable me to always feel like that throughout my life. And always feel indebted to him. And I only also request that devotees should really take some time to study Srila Prabhupada's books. The more you read his books, the more you feel overwhelmed and feel so much indebted that you suddenly become Krishna conscious. All glories to the divine grace of Prabhupada. Many times I read Srila Prabhupada books with new people, with people who have never been to a temple or they have never met Srila Prabhupada or devotees. And I often wonder, we're going to read this Gita, what will happen? And I find that by the time we have just read a few pages of Bhagavad Gita, those people who have never met devotees or met Prabhupada or have been to a temple, their lives begin to transform. just by reading those books, and just by hearing from Srila Prabhupada without any association whatsoever. And it gives me such deep joy to read Prabhupada's books with others and to share Srila Prabhupada with others. And one last thing I want to say that many years ago I saw a movie called The Life of Pi. And in the end of the movie, they asked the hero, so is this a true story, what you just told us? So he said, well, if you don't believe me, I can tell you another story. So he tells them another story, and then they say, which one is true? And he says, you can choose whichever you like. And then he says, and so it goes with God. I don't know whether Krishna exists or not. I don't know what is true. But if we follow Prabhupada, the story of our life changes. And everybody has a story. And for me, I found that my story began with Srila Prabhupada in 2003. And that is an incredibly beautiful and a blissful and an ever-exciting and dynamic story. Without Srila Prabhupada, I would have no story. So I just want to thank Srila Prabhupada for giving me my story.
Srila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna. Namo Vishnu Hare Krishna Prasthaya Bhakti Srimati Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Guru Bhani Acharya. Hare Krishna Bhakti I never met Srila Prabhupada, but I did meet Bhattacharya Swami Maharaj. So, I was once a lost sheep, and Srila Prabhupada, being so merciful, has sent his representatives, and one of his representatives is Bhattacharya Swami Maharaj to Africa to come and to retrieve the lost sheep. And fortunately, he laid his hands on me. So, through the message of the Prabhupada to Bhattacharya Swami Maharaj, now I'm here. Before, when I started the movement, I started going to Krishna Conscience temple. My parents, they thought I was crazy. So this boy must be crazy. What is he doing? All your parents, they are all Presbyterians. Why you want to be a Hindu? It's a long story. It's a long story. The family called me and they want to just cast me away from the city, not to come there no more, if this is what I want to do. But today, most of them are chanting Hare Krishna, some have become devotees. It's all by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. And as we know, and we've heard so much from Srila Prabhupada, there are many lost sheep over there. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that after many, many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me. As Vasudeva, know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vasudeva Sarvam Ete Samahatma Sudulabha. And he says such a great souls are very rare. So there are lost souls over there. Everybody there is confused and worried and just searching and seeking and just troubled with a Christendom, Islamic. They don't know. They don't even believe that God has a form. They don't know. They don't believe that there's a kingdom of God where they can go and reside. They don't know how they are going to make it possible. And they are so blind and deaf. They are like sheep. They don't know. They just go to church and different places just to give collections and tithe and so many things, just throw the money away, and the process are chopping the money, becoming so rich from them. And they're just walking in the dark. They don't know. But now, we are very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada is sent by Krishna. My spiritual master once told us, before he became Krishna conscious devotee, he was with one guru, who happened to be a seer, who can see. And Gurudev, this guru always tell him, I'm not your guru. So how? You teaching me everything? You are so exalted. Say, yeah, but I'm not your guru. You want to know who your guru is? About 3 times. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj said, yes, I want to know. You really want to know who your guru is? You really want to know? Then your guru is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He is your guru. Can you imagine that? A guru, a disciple surrendering to you, and then you directing that disciple, I'm not your guru, that is your guru. And he is not even a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada is such a blessing for the whole universe, a blessing that we are fortunate that we have to take advantage of his mercy, his instructions. We have to take advantage of the devotees association and practice anything. Just a single line that you know from Srila Prabhupada book. If you practice that single line, that one line, you go back to Godhead. And Guru Maharaj once told us, if a disciple leaves his body, that is the importance of taking a spiritual master. We didn't know. Oh, we don't have time. Anyway. So I will wrap it. We didn't know, but the good thing we have here is taking a spiritual master. At the point of giving the body, giving up your body at the point of death, that's when we go to understand the importance of you taking a spiritual master. The spiritual master will be there right with you and take you back to God if you become obedient to him. Let's take this movement very seriously. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Almost 2 o'clock. Yeah, so I'll just a few words. So this is a story I've said many times. This is the day. I would like to remember one more time my own experience. My mother used to tell me there's one Swamiji blessed you, there's one Swamiji blessed you for that, right from childhood. But as a being nice couple, they used to invite so many Swamijis. I didn't take it serious. So after I joined ISKCON, and then my hometown, Prabhupada visited. He wrote a book, the local GBC. And then after I connected my parents to the Swami, GBC there, he gave that book. When they came, they brought to me. I was reading that, is ringing the bells. The story is that when I was a little baby, my mom was carrying me. They went to a movie. Coming back, there's a big pandal and a lot of devotees are dancing. So being a nice mother, she took me and went inside the crowd and to the main place. There is one Swamiji is dancing, and then she put the baby in front of him. And the Swamiji blessed that child. And then eventually I found out that was me. Prabhupada touched my head, and then I didn't see the devotees for like 24 years. I was 2-3 years old that time. Then I first met the devotees in New Vrindavan, then Portland, and eventually here Malti. Prabhu was the first person who put the Kantimala to me. So I'm very grateful. His touch was never in vain. I'm still here. I hope to continue for the rest of my life to serve him in his mission. I just want to say, that's about me, but I just want to say the how Prabhupada is great compared to many other acharyas. We're not comparing, but for understanding perspective. So he's such a dynamic person. He's so strict at the same time accommodating. People can go to that extent, but he exactly knows how to strike the balance between. One time a devotee was singing, and then he didn't know that Prabhupada was standing behind him. He was singing so nice, Prabhupada was standing behind him, he was just watching. And finally the devotee understood somebody behind me. When he looked back and Prabhupada was standing there and looking at him, he felt a little shy. Sorry Prabhupada, I'm so proud. He said, what is wrong with you? Another time, if somebody feels proud, he'll slash them down. And then sometimes when he came to the temple one time, the pujari was offering. And he was doing all exactly opposite. It's not exact, but another bunch of other people. Prabhupada was so upset. How can they do that? And then they called the temple president. Why did you do that? Prabhupada, there's nobody to today. Somebody came from book distribution. We put in there. It's okay, no problem. He said, it's okay, no problem. Teach him later. So what is the guideline? Some of the principle behind is that how he connects everybody to Krishna. Sometimes chastising, sometimes encouraging, sometimes correcting, sometimes accommodating. He never takes this side or that side. But what is that I can do to connect a person to Krishna? That is the Nityananda Mahaprabhu's mood. Otherwise, I don't know about you, but I have no place here. I'm not qualified to be here. It is only because of him. So I just want to thank Prabhupada and his followers and who have helped me. And there's so many people looking for Krishna. And then he's the Acharya, it's a dynamic Acharya. So thank you, Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.